the reason why you're here is to see, like, it took you to get to rock bottom to be able to get deep enough to see what the root of the issue is and the reason why all of this is coming up.
Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
Yellow Virgo, welcome to your October 2019 general reading. I'm Princess India if you're new. If you're family, welcome back, my friend. So we're going to hop right in with you guys to pick a card, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not familiar with how we do things for the 9/9 and the 2000, just saying. You're going to pick either number 1, 2, or 3 that coincides with the card that I'm picking. That card represents a group that we're going to use as an overall energy in the extended, in the event that after watching this general over here on YouTube, you feel you need something a little bit more specific. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and pick a number 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to go ahead and pick these cards and tell you guys what it is I picked up intuitively, which literally, it really wasn't that much, Virgo. I could be honest with you. But I felt more or less like a resistance, almost like kind of like mind your business. Like, stop trying to get in Virgo business. That's what I felt. But I felt it more in a sense of, it's like a self-protection type of thing. But the main thing that I heard specifically was pay attention to your dreams. But I feel there's a dual meaning to that. For some of you, it's literally pay attention to what it is that you're dreaming. Because it's like a message that your subconscious is trying to give to you. Because and that's where it kind of all ties in. Is because I feel like it's something y'all are ignoring, right? And then the other side of that would be pay attention to your dreams in the sense of like goals. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you guys want to do? What is it that you guys are, or at one point in time were working towards, if you kind of got off track with that? Because it feels like a, how can I say it? It's similar to energy I picked up for Aquarius like months ago. It's like a self-imposed, I hate the fact that I have to say prison, but it's like a self-imposed prison because, like, and how I said it for Aquarius months ago was like, if you guys were on a strict budget and were watching your spending and stuff like that and working like overtime because you were doing that to get enough money to purchase a home. And now 6 months ago, you closed on the house, you own the house, you live in the house, but you're still working the same way you were to obtain the house. So it's kind of like you're doing it for nothing, but it's like getting so used to being stuck in this pattern that you don't modify it when things shift. That's kind of how I feel with Virgo. So it's kind of like in reference to dreams, visions, desires, whatever, or if it's literal dreams, whatever it is that you guys are reaching for or were at one point in time, the root of the stagnation is in the fact that you guys are in some self-imposed box that you've put yourself in that's no longer useful. And I feel the need to tell you that in the event that you are having really weird dreams that you need answers for, you can go to the link below and join the dream interpretation group we have over there on good old Facebook and whatnot, or whatever. So anywho, if you pick card number 1, we have impatience, throat chakra. If you pick card number 2, we have soulmate, root chakra. And if you pick card number 3, oh, who had this? We have the renewal card, and that's root chakra. Who had this? What sign did I do before this? Was it Gemini? I think Gemini had this too. That's interesting. If you have Gemini in your chart, you might want to watch it. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into you guys' cards. But that's really what it is that I was feeling. That resistance that I felt, y'all may have Gemini in your chart because it's kind of reminiscent of what happened with Gemini. It's a refusal to see that something that's become a comfort could potentially be hindering you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, Virgo, my fellow earth sign. Okay, so let's see what's going on with you guys for the month of October. So central energy that we have for Virgos, if I could turn it over. Whoa, we have the 2 of Wands in the reverse, challenged by the Sun in the reverse. Y'all really might have Gemini in y'all chart. Or know a Gemini or something. Because they had the same card. They had the Sun in reverse in theirs. Past influence is the 3 of Swords. Oh, tink, tink. Underlying influence, we have the 9 of Pentacles. Aww. Above energy is Judgment. Interesting. And going forward, we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. That came out in Gemini's extended. What is really going on, Virgo? So here's the deal. Right now, you should be in a state of self-care, harnessing your energy back into yourself, because I feel like you guys are kind of bone dry. When I say bone dry, I literally mean burnout, with this being challenged by the sun in reverse. And that's something that needs to be overcome. Because, and another way I could look at this too, it's like, it's either actions that are being taken to an extreme to where you're juggling way too much stuff, or you're trying to maintain way too much stuff, or it could be like a caretaker role, putting too much energy into other people, kids, spouses, whatever. But whatever the case may be, what you guys need to be doing is focusing on yourself and self-caring, in the sense of knowing your limitations and knowing when to pump the brakes. Because I feel like heavily that y'all are really doing too much. So a focus in October, which would behoove you all, is to find out what the source of this energetic drain is. I do see with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Well, that's new. Okay, this could be a couple of things. Some of you guys could be divorcing, right? Some of you guys may be going through a divorce, or if you were like living with someone, you could be, like breaking up and moving. I also see empty nest syndrome, like kids going off to college, and and that would be like an older mom that's kind of trying to recalibrate and figure out what to do next. And then for others of you, I feel it's some type of break, like something, it could be a losing a job, honestly. But I'm seeing this heavily as like mental energy and beating oneself up, but this being intricately related to this Three of Swords. So this is past tense energy. What is looking like to me, Virgo, is not necessarily a tower moment, but I feel that something had, like you guys, and I really feel this is in the form of like a message, I feel this in a form of like a message. So I don't know if someone sent you a letter, or like you got a letter in the mail, if you got a text, if you got an email. God forbid somebody broke up with you through text. But I feel like it's some type of news that came in that completely upset the apple cart. And the other thing I was going to say with this Two of Wands in the reverse and the Sun in reverse, like on one side I could see that is like external energy being taken, like action being taken to an extreme and it being burnout. But then on the other side of that, I can see it as a person who has been in a really depressive state to where you're all cried out. Like it's almost a disappointment occurs, and it's kind of like being in this dark space to where you've cried so much that you just can't, like your eyes can't even like make any more tears because you've cried that much. And it's like an inner vacancy feeling. It's like a feeling, dude, like it's like almost like emaciated, because how I'm seeing it, the way my visions are set up, I'm seeing a human, right? But I'm seeing like a giant straw that's being stuck down the person's throat. And it's like, I know that sounds really bad, y'all. That's how my clairvoyance set up. Don't judge me. But it's almost like the person's essence is being sucked out of them. So it's like being bone dry. But I'm seeing that more in like a purging regurgitation sense. So I feel like, and I mean, it could apply on both sides, but it feels like two different energies where there's one group of people who are trying to run away from a disappointment or a heartbreak by overworking and staying busy and trying to ignore it. And then on the other side, I feel like there's someone who's completely succumbed to this disappointment, but is kind of at a loss because it's like I'm all cried out in a sense. But I feel all of this is happening is because it's bringing us down to this root issue that would most certainly need to be dealt with, because this feels very much to me like it's a superficial energy, but it's a superficial energy in the sense of being very much concerned of either people outside of you or people's perceptions outside of you. And I feel that's always acted as a block to prevent you from dealing with this energy that I'm seeing with the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. It's like the reason why, it's almost like this disappointment acted as a catalyst to unearth the truth that one has either never felt good enough, right? That one never felt good enough or worthy, or to unearth codependency, like that a person's very much relying on other people because it's the thought that, you know, I can't do it on my own. So this false perception, like I need to have somebody in my life in order to help me do it because I can't take care of myself. Or if it's just, you know, low self-esteem, or, you know, sacrificing what you wanted to do with your life for a partner or for someone else's views, whatever the case may be, because it could be a myriad of different things. But I feel that all of this is happening to get you guys into alignment, because it almost feels to me as if, and that's why I say it's a tower energy, because it's like the foundation that you guys have built up to this point, it's not authentic to you. Like it's not your truth for whatever reason, because I don't want to get into the specifics of it, because I mean, it could be a myriad of different reasons why you guys have kind of deviated from the path. But that's the reason why all of this is happening. But I feel that in so many words, it's like the perception that Virgos could be having is like, God hates me. You know, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why is this happening to me on some stuff? Because it feels very tumultuous. And almost to the point where it could be, like I said in another reading, like a series of unfortunate events, but it's a series of unfortunate events like without reprieve. And it's to the point now where it's like, dude, what else could I possibly lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else could be taken away from me? What else could possibly go wrong? But I feel that it's almost like these two energies are coming together, but Spirit is like using it to re-divert you back to something within that needs to be dealt with, because it's kind of like this Nine of Pentacles in reverse energy and this Queen of Swords in reverse energy. It's almost like these are working in cahoots with each other, and I'm seeing it as like manifestation. And I said this in Gemini's reading. It's like, and they're extended, but it's like if you have like, because Queen of Swords energy in reverse is like a very like bitter, resentful, sarcastic, like crass kind of energy, right? For them, it was more or less in a sense of that being in their thought space, right? So for you guys, whether this is a person that's in your life, that's how you're showing up in life, or this is just your inner critic, it's like in a mental space, if you're thinking or talking to yourself this way in your head, it's like, of course, what you continue to manifest would be like Nine of Pentacles in reverse energy, which I look at as a very codependent energy. It's either, you know, everything you're investing into is not growing into anything, or every time you invest into something, it's like the rug is pulled from under you, or it seems like, you know, if you take one step forward, it's like two steps back. It's not saying that it's all your fault and it's the way that you're thinking, and if you change the way you think, then everything's going to change. It's not saying that, because I feel that it's external circumstances, but there's a need to recognize that there's a level of one's core beliefs about themselves. There's a level of how one perceives life is why one is making decisions to be in situations such as this, to where it's almost like you're always starting over from scratch, if that's making sense. Because that's what it really looks like to me. Whether it's like trying to ignore this, being burned out, putting in too much time, energy, or effort to other people, or if it's just like being, you know, super sad because of something that's fallen away. It's like all of this is happening to get you guys back into alignment with the path that you're supposed to be on. And I feel that the path you guys are supposed to be on, or your wishes, dreams, desires, what have you, have been suppressed for a very long time. So all of this is happening not as like, you know, God hates you, like, you know, I just want everything to suck for you. And it's like, let's take some more stuff from Virgo. Let's disappoint Virgo some more. It's not that. It's getting you to see things or behaviors or patterns in your life that aren't patterns, beliefs, what have you, in your life that are contributing to these situations you're finding yourself in. So let me clarify this so that it doesn't sound like I'm like blaming you. This would be you're horrible with finances, right? And the thing that one does not want to address is the fact that when I get my paycheck, I'm blowing it, right? So now you're in a place to where your car is about to get repossessed and you have no savings, you have no money in the bank, you have nothing. And it's like, oh my gosh, my car's about to get repossessed. Oh no, they just put an eviction notice on my door. And it's like feeling like, why are all of these things happening to me? And it's like needing to be realistic and take personal accountability for the fact that they're happening because you didn't pay your rent, you didn't pay your car note, and you're still behind on your car note that now it's up for repossession. You know what I mean? So it's needing to see the reality of the situation. So it's like ignoring the problem isn't going to solve it. Crying about it isn't going to solve it. But the reason why, and I really say like, it's really a feeling of like rock bottom almost. But it's like the reason why you're here is to see like it took you to get to rock bottom to be able to get deep enough to see what the root of the issue is. And the reason why all of this is coming up is because overall spirit is trying to get you guys back into alignment with your true path, your right path, the path that's in your highest good. And that's why all of this is happening. So this again is a very personal work oriented type of month here, you know, and that's kind of been the theme with almost all of the readings. But where it comes into what we talked about, like with the intuitive message, like paying attention to your dreams, for two groups, there's some of you, like I said, things that you're suppressing, the whatever emotions or desires or whatever that you guys are suppressing, that will start to bubble up in your dream space if it's something that you're ignoring. And then for others of you, I feel the pathway forward is more or less reconciling with once upon a time, like what it is that you guys wanted for your life once upon a time, like whatever that was. Like, when is the last time you remember feeling joy, you know, or what was the project that you were working on before, you know, this happened, or what kind of job did you want to have before this disappointment happened? So it's more or less getting back to ground zero into your truth and rebuilding from there as opposed to someone else's is what I'm seeing. So we're going to go ahead and throw the dice of resonance, y'all. Man, banana pants. This does feel a lot like money. It feels like a lot of different things, man. There's a lot going on. But I can say that this situation is very much spiritually guided. Did I already tell you guys you can ask a yes or no question? I don't remember. I'm sorry. All right. We have Sun. We have Scorpio. We have Taurus. We have coworker boss. We have yes in a few months. So Sun, Scorpio, Taurus, coworker boss, yes in a few months. And let's throw the dice that have no name. Is that Mars? Oh man, I still never. Did I not put anything for Mars? Yep, we got through again. Mars is the only one I don't have something written for. I don't know why that is. Okay, and Mars comes out again. Okay, I will write something for Mars. And Mars comes out again. That is so crazy. Take action. Let's say that. We have Sagittarius and we have the number 6, but this die is just not working with you, girl. Wow, dude, that's not even possible. Mars has come out like 4 times. Jeez. And what is this, Mercury? Finally. I gotta write something for Mars. I don't know how I even skipped Mars. I don't know how that's even possible. But anyway, so Mercury, it says, mind and communication be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You are a messenger. What have you been communicating? So what we're talking about here is your life as a message. It's like if you, and I said this in someone else's reading. I don't remember who it was, but I was saying that if, you know, I was a movie producer and I came to you and told you that I was going to do a movie about your life and you would never have to worry about money ever again. It's like, would you, even though you would be financially straight, it's like, how would you feel of people watching your life story from the day you were born until that day that I made you that deal and telling the complete whole truth about your life? What would the moral of that story be? What would people garner from it? Is it a movie that you would be proud of? Do you feel like it could contribute something to other people's lives? Or do you feel like there's things that you would change, right? And even if that's like a pie in the sky kind of idea, the truth is that in our lives every day, it's like we're telling a story, we're giving a message to everyone that we encounter. But you want to be cognizant of what that message is that you're creating via your choices and your experiences. Are you living your best life? Or are you truly happy? Like, is this a story you would want to watch, right? And knowing that you have the power to alter that if you feel that you need to. Now, with the number 6, you guys are Canada meditate on this month is Je Lovers. And that's talking about balance and harmony. What's no longer serving your highest good? Wow, that's so on point, right? Because we're looking at the fact of it not just being choosing mind or just choosing heart. It's a marriage between the two. It's like, what is it in your life that's no longer serving your highest ideal? And that's what I see that the Judgment card is representing. It's like, granted, there is a disappointment, but it's like, this is an opportunity for you guys to have the ultimate bounce back. Because I feel that whatever it is you guys are going through now, it was never really making you happy anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like now it's time for you guys to internalize your resources and to channel them towards your vision of what happiness is. Because I feel like you guys for a long time have been serving other people's visions or their visions of happiness, fulfillment, and satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? And Mercury and Sagittarius. This is funny. I'm going to see what that's about. I mean, hey, why not? I'm just saying. I think in the extended, I'm going to look and see what the energetic themes of Mercury and Sagittarius are. Just because I'm curious. It's something new. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Virgo, that has been your reading. We're going to go over to Vimeo to do you guys extendeds with your 3 groups. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, still love your freaking face. I will see you guys sooner than later. If I put it simply, it's almost as if like my Virgos are feeling very unhappy with their lives and something falls away or there's some sort of disappointment. The reason why it's like 2 times more disappointing is because expecting yourself to live up to some standard. On the outside looking in, everything looks fine. My group 1 people, it's like what you skip will trip you up later. Group 2 people, as it's distractions. On that workaholic side, could be a little codependency, but it's like a lot of one's identity and how they perceive themselves is very much interrelated to other people. And for my group 3 people, needing to let go of still being in the salvage energy, you know, still trying to see, is there anything, any pieces that I can pick up? Is there anything that I can salvage? Is there anything that I can do to try to make this work?